Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding, by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Last time in our mini-series, that was part 1 of Cut Costs with Smart Flood Protection Planning, we uncovered the many phases of flood protection, from a private homeowner securing a single entrance to a national library shielding vast archives, and infrastructure like a public hospital or the metro. We saw how different properties, residential, commercial, governmental, and even outdoor spaces have unique challenges when it comes to staying flood-free. We also explored the various vulnerable openings like doors, pipes, and drainage channels that need attention. So welcome again today to part 2 of Cut Costs with Smart Flood Protection Planning. But there is one key question. One key question remains. How do property owners and decision makers actually approach to purchase of flood protection solutions? And most importantly, where do they often go wrong? In today's episode, we'll uncover the truth behind typical purchasing behavior, expose the traps of quick fix thinking, and show how smart planning saves money before the first drop of water even falls. Doesn't sound exciting? Let's dive into part 2 of Cut Costs with Smart Flood Protection Planning. How private homeowners purchase flood barriers. So, we get a call. It's an example. Normally, what happens in our company and for me as well, we get a call from the wife or husband or the son or the daughter. 70% of these callers, 70% of them tell us that they have already been flooded. They tell us about the mess, the weeks of months of cleaning up, the renovation work, all the goods and furniture they have lost, the sofa, the TV, the washing machine, the fridge, the son's guitar, and the daughter's piano, and the car of cars. The worst thing is all the mementos that were lost in the floods. The son's first milk tooth, the daughter's first lock of hair, grandmother's gold ring, the old family photos printed out on paper, a lifetime's worth of documents, the deed to the land and the house, the memories of the great-grandparents and grandparents are gone forever. And they keep telling us, the people who call us, because they were flooded, they keep telling us how expensive it was to renovate and buy all the things that could be replaced. It took almost a year, sometimes even longer. And everything was so expensive that they lost almost all their hard-earned money. They wanted to spend it on the children's education, even the grandchildren education. They dreamt of a nice vacation trip to New Zealand, the USA or Europe. Small comment, the people I'm talking about live in Asia Pacific. So for people who listen to this podcast who are based in the US, they perhaps dream about a trip to Europe or to Australia or to Asia, the other way around. So anyway, they also dreamt of a new car in the future. All these dreams are gone with the wind, and there are no more resources, just a little bit. And they understand that they have to invest this money in flood protection so that these devastating floods never happen again in their lives. And they don't want it to happen again in their children's lives when they take over their parents' house one day. Possible, huh? That's why the investment is a very good idea, necessary, obligatory, now. And then ask us how much it will cost. The other 20% of, I will come back to this answer later, of course. The other 20% of private homeowners have not yet been flooded, but have recognized the increasing threat of climate change. They know that we will all get more frequent storms and more intense rainfall, which will lead to more and incredible flooding. And they know that the next flood will be worse than the last. So the remaining 10% know nothing about climate change and are not sure about it. In the end, they will invest nothing and hope for the best. Let's hope and pray for them too. So, and that brings us to the next question, how business managers purchase flood barriers. That is more shorter. We often receive inquiries from the purchasing department. We are interested in flood protection barriers. Please send us your catalog and send us an offer with your best price. And I switch to the next group, how public servants purchase flood barriers. We often receive inquiries from the purchasing department and they say, we are interested in flood protection barriers. Please send us your catalog or send us an offer with your best price. Does that sound familiar to you? Yes, it's almost the same way of asking. But questions they usually do not ask, but are essential and important for your safety are: number 1, what should I do? Second, what is the right technique? Third, what is the scope of the construction work? 4, what accessories are available for the flood barrier, such as wind and weather protection, protection against vandalism or theft? 5, what about the storage systems for mobile flood barriers, such as demountable flood barriers or Inero mobile flood barriers? 6, should there be a floor, beam or anchor plates? 7, should it be made of structural steel or stainless steel? And it is almost impossible to list all these options in one offer. This offer would be too extensive, and to be honest, would you consider to read such an offer? I mean, that is like studying. Yeah, because you first need to understand what is the background and why do I mention all these questions? Because it's for your safety. And who wants to make a decision based on all this information? I hope I have piqued your interest. So the next installment of Flood Protection Secrets will continue with part 3 of the series, Cut Costs with Smart Flood Protection Planning. You will learn the difference between procurement and consulting and what this means for your safety. If you have liked this episode, subscribe to the podcast Flood Protection Secrets if you haven't already, or contact the flood experts at their Asian headquarters in the Philippines, or contact me directly. Just Google Andreas Klippe. The links can be found below this podcast description. I think it's easy to do. Stay safe and flood free, and do not miss the next episode in a couple of days. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with the new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.thefloodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe. Flood Protection Secrets, the secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.